Hello again to St. Paul's Nation. This is Doug and Don. We're here just to give a brief preview to our experience that's coming up Sunday, July the 26th. We hope that all of you will be with us, either on campus or online. And Don, I'm still getting good comments from folks who come and worship with us on campus here. And let me tell you, we've had some very, very special Sundays the past few weeks. We're going to work on sending out some clips from that, but I think this Sunday is going to be another very special Sunday. We're going to look at the story of Jesus and his parable of the servant who was the servant that was going bankrupt. And when he was released from his debts, promptly went out and beat up everybody that owed him money. So anyway, you can come this Sunday on campus online, find out more. Don, I just wanted to take a moment to ask you to share a little bit about the ministry that you're having with, you work with some juvenile students, especially kind of one at a time. Tell me about that. Where do you do that? And what would you say you've learned over the past couple of years being involved in that ministry?
Well, I work with an operation called LifeQuest. And we basically go into the YDDC, the Youth Diagnostic and Development Center, down there on Edith Boulevard between Comanche and Candelaria. Like that makes a difference. But from the outside, it looks like it's like a penitentiary, and it is, but on the inside it's a campus divided up into small housing units. And I have the blessing of working with the younger cottage. And we have about 8 to 10 people, and there's turnover as people are released and admitted. It's been incredible. Right now with COVID, we're at a kind of timeout standstill. So the only communication we're allowed to have is weekly letters or bi-weekly letters. But my experience in teaching Bible study and mentorship one-on-one with certain individuals has been very rewarding because they're so much like a lot of us in the way we grew up. They just may not have had certain opportunities, may not have had a strong family, things like that. And if I can give them some insight and share some love with them and to let them know that they are loved by God as well, that this is a great holding pattern they're in to maybe have better direction when they get out.
So would you say that they kind of found themselves in places where they were having to live life without a safety net?
Oh yeah.
Whereas I've seen this in the parks now. They're stretching out these ropes, and you walk across the rope. It's a tight wire. Well, it's one thing when a tight wire is 3 feet or even 6 feet off the ground. Put it between 2 skyscrapers in New York City, I'll opt out there. And the stress that comes on a person when there is no safety net, it's something we don't realize. When you live life without any backup, it's very difficult. What would you say you have learned from these students?
Well, they're normal kids that just need love, and I try to give them my love, Christ's love, and they reciprocate by God has blessed me so much through this. And out of this whole thing, I just want them to develop a trust, to believe what I'm trying to tell them and encourage them that it may benefit them in the long run. It's been a blessing. And some people in society would discard these kids. Oh, they're troubled kids. But you know what? We all could have had that walk.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have had some of that mentorship when I was younger.
Yes.
Even though I wasn't behind bars, you know what I mean?
Yes. That's really true. It is. We can look back and we can find those persons who made an investment in us.
Yeah.
And we are thankful for life. You know, at at St. Paul's, one of the things we never want to forget is that we also are making investments in persons. We make investments in persons or do not make investments every day. And it's an important decision that we have to make, that we're going to be invested in another person and invested in the mission of Jesus Christ. So I want to encourage you to be with us this Sunday. Now this Sunday, we're going to be having communion together. So here on campus, we are going to be using some special communion packets so that each individual will be able to participate in communion, but in a safe manner. For all of you at home, let me encourage you to go out Friday or Saturday, go out and purchase a loaf of bread and some juice. Get a small loaf and some juice. Let me encourage you that if you have friends who would like to receive communion, invite them to come and share the worship service with you. During the worship service, during the communion ritual, we will sanctify the elements. We will offer the elements to God, and that they might become full symbols of His body and His blood. So in the midst of that ritual, I want to encourage us all to take that part of the ritual very seriously. And when we lift up the bread here in the worship, you lift up the bread. When we lift up the cup, you lift up the cup, so that we recognize that these are unique symbols that in the experience of worship and our faith become profound symbols of the body and blood of Jesus Christ. That's this Sunday. Communion, we'll be talking about grace. And by the way, Don, the passage on grace, still learning how to wear masks. The passage on grace is buried in about 3 or 4 other stories and or parables where Jesus is talking about the Christian life as the journey of a child, kind of helping us to get off our adult high horses and get back to that spontaneity and that vulnerability of a child. And I want to celebrate the ministry the Lord's led you into and the ministry the Lord's leading us all into. Look forward to Sunday. We will see you then. Take care. Until then, be careful.